Hey everyone, it's Dr. H, your friendly guy, wargame guy at the Air Command and Staff College. We're going through all the various products that you should anticipate using, and in this case we're going to talk about the Air Conops. Now, the Air Conops is downstream of, obviously, the Opward and the sync matrix. So this is the air Conops, and this is the air Conops produced by the JFAC. If I'm the GIF, like I'm going to produce my own Conops. If I'm any component commander, I can produce my own Conops, my own concept of operations for the turn. And it's going to be based on the Opward and the sync matrix. So say to the Opward, I know it's in it, right? I know what I was supposed to do, sort of generally speaking, and I've looked at the sync matrix, so I know what I'm supposed to do this turn for sure. How am I going to carry that out for the turn? That's a good question. So, this is the Air Conops. I'm the JFAC for the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. I've looked at the sync matrix and determined what it is that I'm doing and what I'm doing and how I fit in the grand scheme of things. And so I'm going to break that out into my own concept of operations that I'm going to then brief back to the JFC, who's going to approve it, and then I'm going to go execute it. Now, we've pointed out that this can be done very well in a purpose method in-state risk, right? Just like, say, a commander's intent, because that's ultimately what this is. This is what you intend to do for the turn, and you're going to you'll breathe this JC, and then you'll go out and execute it. So I've looked at what I've been tasked to do and where I fit into the sync matrix. So I have looked at that and I've determined that my purpose for the turn, right, deny enemy air superiority, that's what I was told to do on the sync matrix. But if I also look, support Jiflick, main efforts to Jiflick, I should be supporting him. And I should also defend the Hanoi Haiphong area because, again, if I look at the overall plan, that's what we're supposed to defend that area. That's where I'm going. That's the area I intend to defend with aircraft and with SAMs as the AAMDC. How am I going to do that? What is my method? My method is what I'm going to tell each one of my units to do. So I've got 3 Sukhoi 30s, I've got 1 Sukhoi 27, and I've got 4 Sukhoi 22 markers. And I've got 3 S300 batteries. Okay, cool. So what is each one of those pieces planning to do? If I were the JFLIC, I wouldn't probably be by piece, it'd probably be by division. If I were the JIFMIC, I'd probably be talking about piece. If I by pieces, if I were the J3 or the J4, I'd probably have different things that I would talk about there. J4 is probably going to talk about points, about supply points and how they tend to spend their supply points, and or the prioritization for that supply points. And the J3 has the JIPTO, but has other pieces that they are going to play with, right? The soft pieces and all those others to think about. So what am I doing? Well, I'm going to commit the 3 of the Sukhoi 30s and the Sukhoi 27 piece to air superiority, right? First thing, deny air superiority. I'm going to go after air superiority. I'm going to go after denying air superiority with those pieces. They're the ones that are the best at air superiority. Okay, so I've talked to the J3. I need to strike the supply base. The supply base in the hex numbered here, 17. What is that? 1713. That's my job. It's another job I've intended to take on. We'll talk about the GIPTL, how that all came about in a second, or in a little bit here. But for now, I'm going to send 2 SU-22s after it. Also, to support the JFLIC, I'm going to send 2 of my other SU-22s to support the JFLIC. I don't know where they're going to be used. That's not important. I'm going to give them to the JFLIC and say, hey man, where you want them. And either the JFLIC will either use them in their own execution of the turn, or I'll go over there and say, we're going to commit them here. I'll talk it over with the JFLIC. We're going to execute that how we see fit. And then finally, I'm going to tell you which hexes my SAM batteries are in. And they're in the hexes listed here. So those hexes are in and around Hanoi and Haiphong. I'm going to put my pieces down. That's where I'm going to put those pieces down. In those hexes, I'll have SAM batteries there to do the job that I've laid out for SAM batteries, which is to protect that region. All right, so in state, right? What am I doing? What's the end state for me? We've denied enemy air superiority. We have supported our ground. We've traded enemy ground forces to 30% because that's the overall ground mission. So we're going to support that in state. And also enemy strikes are traded enemy strikes into the defended area are traded 80%. So if they want to fly into my area, the area that I've designated as the defensive area, they're going to pay a heavy price for it. That's my in state, right? If they strike outside of that area, if we can hit them, great. If they come into my defended zone, we're going to knock them out. And then what are the risks, right? What are the risks that I need to think about here? Well, I need to express what the risks are to the JFC so that they understand, he or she can understand what it is I'm trying to accomplish and what may come later if I'm going to go this hard. For example, in air superiority, right, we may not have, right, we may impose some serious losses, right? We may not be able to match the kind of effort we're putting up in the air for air superiority in the future because of attrition and the size of the enemy air force. We'll go up there. They may not get air superiority this turn. They might get it next turn. We might not be able to fight that. Another risk that we run is that the enemy will target the SAM batteries and blow them up. So when we communicate that risk upwards to the JFC, hey, I am defending the area you told me to defend. They might blow up my SAMs. You should be aware of that, and you may want to plan accordingly. And then the other thing is that the supply depot is currently guarded by a SAM battery, an enemy SAM battery. And if that SAM battery isn't taken down, my Su-22s are not going to do very well when the time comes to attack. I will take losses on that. So those are my risks. So again, I want to communicate. This Air Conops both guides what I'm doing and also backbriefs the JFC, right? So I'm going to be, this is my sheet to fight the turn as approved by the JFC. And I'm going to, again, use the basic commander's intent. What is my purpose? I get that from the op order and the sig matrix. What is my method? What are all of the pieces I have under my control doing? Where are they going to go? Who did I talk? I may need to talk to the J3. I may need to talk to other commanders to understand exactly that. What does success look like at the end? What am I aiming for here? An end state, and then risk. What are the chances? What are the things that might happen? What are the things that are going to affect future decision making? Think more about future decision making. I mean, like, it's obvious, hey, we might take losses, but what does that actually mean, right? We might take losses in air superiority fighting the Chinese, and that means we may not have air superiority in the future, right? We may not have all of the abilities that we want to have next turn. But I'll go hard this turn if that's what you want, boss. Now, obviously, I'm negotiating this. I'm negotiating exactly what this document's going to say before it gets approved with both the JFC and with everybody else. JFC may tell me, hey, like, this is my initial cut, and the JFC may say, like, let's tone it down on the air superiority then. Let's reduce that risk. Or what have you. Or just, we have to accept it. I understand. I accept it. I'm willing to fight hard on turn 1 with the understanding that turn 2 may not look like this. So, like I said, this is the concept of operations. What does it mean for us? What do I need to put together? What do I need to be thinking about? This is from the air perspective as we walk the dog all the way down. But remember, everybody's going to write one, not just the air. Any component commander is going to write one. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. See you in the next one.